Hey everyone, it's me, Ari Dawson, call me Rashid. I'm an anthropologist and sociologist. Hit the like button, share this video, subscribe to the channel, become a member of the channel, and don't forget, donate the links below. Thank you very much. I want you to imagine the following. Let's say you're at work and you have this colleague over there, and she always talks about herself, even at work. She only says hi to people that she can get something out of. She ignores everyone else unless her name is mentioned or unless she can get some attention or some approval out of them. She even treats the employer this way. When it comes to the clients or customers, she's very short, very direct, and if she can't get something out of them to brag about her work performance, she cuts off the clients and customers. As you understand, this individual is so unstable and so narcissistic that they can't continue working there. They'll be fired very soon. Let's say now, just in a community, let's say there's a birthday party going on, and someone that was invited at the birthday party is there, and they want to get some cake, but the cake was finished because a lot of people ate the cake. And suddenly they're upset because they can't get any cake, and they throw over the tables, begin to scream, and they spit on everyone, slap everyone. He throws a chair all of throughout the room, then throws another chair. Eventually, you have to call the cops because this individual's out of their mind. So the police comes, arrest them, and later they confess that they couldn't handle not getting cake. They couldn't handle that people didn't consider them wanting cake. So they felt bad. What do you think the police is going to think about? They're going to think, what? Just because you couldn't get some cake at the birthday party, you went nuts like that? How many people would approve of such an individual? Almost nobody would approve of them. We have some crazies amongst us who would. But in general, anyone would agree that this is wrong. It doesn't add up. You can't just ignore and decline and say no to everyone else all the time unless it's about you or something you get out of it. Not even devil worshippers would approve of such behavior. If anyone would behave that way towards you, you would immediately realize, hey, come on now, what the heck is this? And you would realize I need to stay away from this individual. Because people like this are so delusional that they will believe that they are the victim, even though they're the ones causing harm over and over again. I'm not talking about someone going to a blackout when they feel threatened. That tends to happen when you're under severe threats. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about people, for example, who slap someone, who try to stab them. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about people who just don't want to deal with reality and realize that other people matter too. I need to consider other people and work with them and be vulnerable towards them. They're vulnerable towards me. I'm talking about people who don't want to deal with any reality at all. They just want ease and they want ease all the time. They want to be unbothered and at ease 24/7, regardless of anything that happens. This does not exist. You're a human being with human requirements. If those requirements are not met, you become unhealthy and you'll die before your time. So you have to deal with other people and you have to get along when things are not about you. A human being that only considers things when it's about them or it's about something they can profit from is someone that believes that existence is all about them and nobody else matters unless it relates to them. Someone that thinks this way, not only is it delusional, it's quite dangerous because they will disregard you anytime they can get anything out of you. Even worse, if they perceive you to be in their way, they may consider harming you, even killing you, just so that the self is validated. Now, if one individual behaves this way, it's easy for everyone to say, what the heck is this? You can call the cops to stop them, or you can call your family to come and stop them. But okay, what if this is a group of people behaving this way? What if you have a group of people we have the same attitude, but because it's a group having the attitude, the group has more flexibility in acting out their narcissistic rage. A single narcissist, when they're narcissistic rage, they may pick up a weapon to threaten you with, or they may throw with chairs, or they may run you over with a car because they have limited resources available, and you're just one individual. And there are times the narcissist will behave because they realize, oh my God, if I lose right now, they can put me in prison or they can shoot me, whatever. So out of the survival instinct, they will behave. They're still raging, but but their rage still stays on the inside, and they will look for somewhere else where they can throw out the unrest. But if it's a group of people behaving this way, you'd have to go against the whole group of people, and that's going to be a bloody mess. And most people don't want to get involved with that. So if you have a group of people thinking that way, they may assign one or two people to do the dirty job, while the rest covers up the crime. Or it can be that they allow some of their own people to misbehave, and later they turn on those same people to act like they're all innocent. When it's a group of people operating narcissistic rage, it's very hard to stop them. Why is it harder to stop? Because you're dealing with a group of people. You may end up having to kill a lot of these people to stop the rage from continuing. But then it gets even more complicated because groups that operate in narcissistic rage, they are very well in hiding their narcissistic rage. They are specialized in assigning one of their own to do the dirty job, and the rest acts like they don't know what goes on. So if you have to stop the narcissistic rage, who are you going to take out then? In short, it's quite difficult to stop collective narcissistic rage. If it's just one individual in narcissistic rage, you can stop that, especially if they become dangerous with weapons and all of that. But if it's a group of people, Lord have mercy, you need supernatural intervention to stop that. And the world does not have supernatural intervention. And paranormal charms cannot uh, assist in stopping narcissistic rage from the public. So that's why in the world, most people will join evildoers. They're not all joining evildoers because they agree with the evildoer. You even have good quality people siding with evildoers. And you may think, why would good quality people side with evildoers? They do this because they understand deep down inside, if they oppose this evildoer, they'll have to oppose the whole community that is in agreement with the evildoer. Because think about it. A single evildoer cannot do that much harm. They cannot. They need a group to enable them. So the group that enables them is in agreement with them. So if you go against the evildoer, there comes a point you have to admit it's not just that one evildoer. It's not just that criminal. It's not just that child molester. It's not just that terrorist. You have to admit there's a whole group that you're rooted into. By the way, even if you go against the evildoer, some of the same group members who agree with the evildoer may turn on the evildoer just because it makes them look bad. And you think problem is solved. But no, it's not just one evildoer that's there. You have a bunch of collaborators who make the evil possible. And if you call out the evil for what it is, you'll also be incriminating the public that's behind it. And when the public gets upset, they go in narcissistic rage. One human being in narcissistic rage may end up stalking you, trying to shoot you with with a gun, or stab you, or try to run you over with a car, or they will smear your name on social media, whatever. One individual in narcissistic rage is bad enough. To have a group of people murmuring and bitching about you, that's a whole nother level of danger. Now, again, I don't approve of this. I'm just explaining why often people in the world join evildoers. Even when they fully know these evildoers are wrong, they're evildoers, we can't accept this, it's not acceptable, we shouldn't be part of this. Because they don't trust the Heavenly Father, they don't have the power of God inside of them as a leverage to use it in life. And some people are believers, but they're so neglectful that they don't obey the Heavenly Father. So they don't have any power, they don't have any safety working for them. And that's why they join the danger in the hope the danger will not harm them. But by doing that, they're still collaborating and they're still guilty. What they should do is admit that, okay, there's evil going on over here, and there are a lot of people involved in it. So calling it out in the open may lead to a more dangerous situation. We still need to call it out, but we need to have a backup to deal with this. And they will realize sooner or later the only backup you can have in a safe way is the Heavenly Father. But apart from that, there are even unbelievers who call things out in a constructive way. They show the evil is being done. They show the destruction, especially on social media these days. And a lot of people realize, oh my God, what the heck is this? And then a lot of people think, why are we okay with this? And people change their mind for the better. That happens, that's something unbelievers do, and it works. It has limited effectiveness because they're not believers, but hey, they do it. At least they admit they have an obligation to become better and safer. But let me tell you one thing, most people out there do not want to admit reality. They just want to escape and be left alone in a bubble of ease. So when evil things happen, they know deep down inside it's also their fault for not being better people. Because listen, if you have a community with quality people and one evildoer, that one evildoer cannot get far. That evildoer will be so embarrassed and so demotivated, they'll either take their own life or they'll leave their community. But if you have a place where a lot of people are neglectful, they just let bad things happen, they're not even committed to become safe human beings themselves. In such an environment, evildoers have a leverage over the community, and they likely will get away with a lot of bad stuff. So if you've been the victim, or if you've been damaged by evildoers here and there, it's not just those individual evildoers that you ought to be upset with. You have to be upset with the whole community that's behind them and letting things happen. And this is also one of the reasons why a lot of people never heal and recover, because they prefer to blame themselves for things they can't be blamed for. Have you ever seen people blame themselves for something that happened to them that they couldn't blame themselves for? For example, they were neglected or abused as children. And you tell them, man, you were a kid. Why the heck are you as a grown man blame yourself for something stupid adults did towards you when you were a child? What the heck? I'm telling you why a lot of people take comfort in blaming themselves. Even though blame yourself will lead to more mental illness, if you blame yourself will make you depressed, a lot of people take comfort and refuge in blaming themselves because it's easier to blame yourself than to risk the public turning on you to get rid of you. Because once you admit that the public failed you, you are going to have people coming after your life. Because not everyone in the world is ready to face the facts. Society is based on bloodshed. Society is based on bloodshed. So everyone participating in society is incriminating themselves and becomes part of the bloodshed. If you participate in society unaware, then hey, you're not to blame. You've been tricked. But the moment you realize that something is seriously wrong with society, and you keep defending society, and you keep defending your commitment and lead society, you are now a collaborator of the bloodshed. Whether you're the one doing the stabbing or the kidnapping, or you're the one doing the bombardment or not, or you're just there facilitating the atmosphere, you are part of it. Based on that alone, the whole idea of of the majority of the public being innocent people goes out of the window. The majority of the population are not innocent people. They are toxic deniers who collaborate with a toxic climate that leads to evil and harm happening. And it's very hard for a lot of people to admit this is a situation. It's easier to have a villain to blame. Oh, look at those bad guys over there. Look at those criminals. Look at those terrorists. Oh my God, look at those bombs who don't contribute at all. It's easy to have a villain to offload all the unease upon. But admit that you are the problem. You're part of the unrest that a lot of people don't want to do. Because to admit this means that you're not credible. It means you're not reliable. You're not trustworthy, and you ought to improve and become a better human being. And this is something a lot of people don't want to go through. They want to have villains to blame. You either join their blame game and they are at ease with you, or you call it out and you look for solutions, but then you get the wrath over you. That is what the Bible calls the hatred of the world. So when you notice a lot of people siding with evildoers, don't be surprised. This is why it's happening. A lot of people aren't willing to admit the obvious. They're not willing to admit even that a lot of the people in their lives will drop them anytime things get too difficult. People in the world in general, I'm not saying everyone in the world, there are exceptions, but people in general in the world, they want an outlet so they don't have to face reality. So the evildoer is a symptom that something's wrong with the community. Because why is the evildoer there? And why is this evildoer having high rank in society? And why is this evildoer even so prosperous financially in a society? Should it be that the most quality people and generous people are at the top and the most disgusting of all people are homeless on the streets? Shouldn't that be the case? How come often you see those toxic, horrible people at the top in corporations, in churches, in businesses, in families? And then you have people of quality being drained through hard work and can barely make it. So to admit the presence of evildoers shows that the public failed. It means your part of the public means somewhere you failed too. Unless you were a child or your early teens, then it's not you. If you're not participating in a solution, that means you become part of the problem. You are not automatically part of the problem. But the moment you don't develop a constructive attitude and you participate in the solutions, that means that you become part of the problem. And a lot of people don't admit that they're part of the problem. They don't. They will on purpose avoid people who are bright enough to notice this. That's why when you increase in knowledge and understanding, a lot of the people that you used to hang out with don't hang out with you anymore. And you think what happens? Because they notice now that you have the brightness to notice things about them they don't want to admit. That's why they avoid you. And those same people, they cling onto those that make them feel bad about themselves. So a lot of people out there, they know very well what they're doing, know very well that they're unworthy, that they're blameworthy, know very well that they are horrible for not serving their Father and participating in the solution, which is serving God. Solutions come from the solution, which is to serve the Heavenly Father. Why are they doing it? Why are they still holding on to toxic people in their lives? Why have they let go of those bad habits? Why haven't they apologized in their behavior? I'm talking about apologizing with your words. Everyone can apologize with words and still not improve. The true apology you will give to people is by improving, becoming a better human being. Why aren't they truly apologizing by becoming better human beings? Why aren't they doing this? Why don't they surround themselves with better people then? Look, we shouldn't be surprised by this. The majority throughout human history sided with evildoers because the evildoers had something on them. The evildoer can expose them, make it all, and embarrass all of them over and over again. They don't want to go through that. So that's why often they will tolerate, put up with the evildoer, but will be very hard on you, the one who's operating in the truth. This is the sad condition of fallen mankind. Nevertheless, don't let it stress you out nor make you depressed. This is reality. The quicker you admit this reality and realize that a lot of people are just unstable cowards who are willing to join organized violence against you anytime uh, they get challenged, the moment you realize this, the better off you are. A lot of people out there are nothing but unstable cowards who would gladly join organized violence against you the moment you disrupt their ease. That's how a lot of people are. Even some people close to you that you call friends and family. Some of you even married to someone like that. I hope that's not the case, but if that's the case, you need to get out of there. So now you know why a lot of bad people get away with a lot of stuff because it's the public who's behind it. So stop these excuses by blaming yourself all the time for everything. Look, if you've messed up or if you were in the wrong, admit you were in the wrong and do your part. But just you doing your part doesn't mean automatically everything gets better. Because if you're doing your part and other people are not doing their part, you're still going to have a bad outcome because a lot of people are not doing their part. You need to remove yourself from these people who are not doing their part and join people who are doing their part. It's not all on you. Apart from blaming yourself unconditionally, there's another thing a lot of people do. They blame Satan or they blame evil spirits. Well, Satan is involved, absolutely. He started this whole rebellion thing. Evil spirits are involved, absolutely, that's true. But Satan and evil spirits, they get their strength from fallen mankind operating in unrest. If mankind would repent and submit to Heavenly Father, there wouldn't be any unrest to feed the demons, and the demons would be totally irrelevant. So, yes, Satan and the demons are to blame, but who is the one funding them? Come on now. Another thing a lot of us do is we keep remembering certain people that did us wrong, and we develop bitterness and hatred towards those people. Look, you shouldn't develop bitterness or hatred anyway. What the heck is that? Because that pollutes you, that harms you and other people around you. But let me tell you why a lot of people take refuge in bitterness. Because there are people out there who take refuge in bitterness. Let me tell you why. It's easy. It's easier. I'm not saying it's safe. I'm not saying it's good. But it's easier to develop bitterness and hatred towards certain people than to admit that the community failed you. And worse, to admit that you're part of the failure too by failing other people. So a lot of people also resort to bitterness and rage just so they don't have to deal with the obvious. Look, as believers, we walk by faith, not by sight, and we have to make sound and and, and proper decisions in life. We cannot hold on to fairy tales that makes us feel good about ourselves and then expect to prosper and be safe at the same time. You can't expect safe, prosperous outcomes if you operate in a delusion. A lot of believers are operating in delusions that make them feel better about themselves instead of operating in reality so they can actually get better and safe outcomes. Better and safe outcomes don't come to people that participate in negativity. If you're participating in lack and violence, then don't expect safe, prosperous outcomes. You want safe, prosperous outcomes as you should, then you have to divest from darkness, which is lack and violence. You can't participate in lack and violence together with the crowd and expect to have safe and better outcomes. Are you kidding me? So, admit reality for what it is, admit people for what they are. Don't make excuse for people that don't want to improve. Walk in love towards everyone from a distance, because remember, you can't walk in love with everyone. Don't go out there isolating yourself, become a loner, all of that, because that's toxic too. But also don't be openly involved with the masses like they're the best people ever, and you know very well that's not true. Assess the people you're dealing with. Assess yourself also, so make sure that you are correct on the inside. Because a lot of believers, even, they operate in darkness, which is lack and violence, yet they think they're doing the right thing. Make sure that the light in you isn't actually darkness. Darkness is lack and violence. Whereas lack and violence towards yourself, towards other people, the moment you operate in lack and violence, no good outcome will come for you. Simple as that. So agree with Christ, side with Him, side with those who do His will, and let the rest destroy themselves. Because not much more you can do for them. You can pray for them, and some of them will get better, but a lot of them won't. So side with Christ, serve Him, and side with those who do His will. Be at peace.